The period of globalization facilitating the world's trade has also created lots of global and local concerns. Now, in this video, we are going to talk about two recent issues. I would be telling them in the form of stories, all right? So, first story is related to India's export to other countries. In particular, we are going to talk about the sugar export to other countries and the related issue in World Trade Organization. And the second one is related to India's import. That's a foreign product coming in India as an import, okay? So, let's begin. Okay, so let's start the first story. The story starts from the year 2019 when a new player entered the game. It was World Trade Organization. Okay, all right, so let me make it very clear. So our story begins in the year 2019 when few countries like Australia and Brazil, which are actually other sugar producing countries, filed a case against India in World Trade Organization, saying that the subsidies given to the farmers for the production of sugar cane or the sugar is against the rules of World Trade Organization. Now, after 2 years in December recently, the verdict came and it was against India and in the favor of those countries. Now, just few days back, India has uh, India has filed an appeal in the appellate body of World Trade Organization saying that it does not accept it. Actually, India does not give any direct subsidies to these farmers, so it's not against the rule of World Trade Organization. Now, let's come to the ground level. What is happening? Now, talking about the ground realities, government has set up minimum support price or the fair remunerative price for the farmers who sell their produce like sugarcane produce to the sugar mills. Now, these remunerative prices are very high and they attract the farmers. So, it creates a glut supply for the sugar mills for their production. On the other hand, the consumption of sugar has remained stagnant among consumers. So it also created a debt trap. Like the most of the sugar mills went into the debt trap, and they needed support from the government. So government supported these sugar mills so that the minimum support price or the remunerative price for the farmers remain constant for them. On the other hand, the government has also allowed these sugar mills to use few portion of sugar canes to produce ethanol, which can be blended with other fuels like diesel for the usage in their sugar mills. So in this way, the government has supported to some extent, and this has developed some worry in the minds of these countries who have filed case against India. Now let's talk about the way ahead. Now the question arises, what's next? Though this issue is under appeal right now and its final verdict is going to come soon, but talking about the unfair practices in the World Trade Organization, this organization has not been completely successful. There are developed countries, especially the Western countries, who have retained the trade barriers in a very unfair manner. And I would like to give an example of the year 2017, when the Indian stents and the other medical equipments which were exported to USA, their USA had charged a very huge import duty actually to promote their domestic markets. So in this way, there is a monopoly of these Western nations in the World Trade Organization. That's the current challenge. And on the other hand, the countries like developing countries like India, where it tries to gain its market in the global world, it faces a lot of competition over there. And even in the places like sugar industry, where the Indian products try to gain some momentum, there also it faces a lot of crises like few countries going against it and all. So keeping all these matters aside, I would like to know your views, like what can be the solution for the monopoly of these Western countries uh, in the World Trade Organization. All right, so you can write it in the comment box. That's all, friends. Thank you.